Heidi, howdy ho there! I'm Hanzo of the Southern Isles, and we're talking everything Disney. For centuries, many a Disney fan have flocked to their Mecca. Whether on the West Coast or the East Coast, the House of Mouse has served pilgrimage for many a fanatic. And although every diehard fan will tell you there is no cost too great to deter them from going, one question has always reared its ugly little head. Is it worth it? A seemingly harmless question, but in its simplicity harbors an immense enigmatic denunciation.
Hey, hold on!
Some say the famous blood feud of the Hatfields and McCoys was started over William McCoy stating just this question.
Hold up! Wait a minute!
And with the ever-increasing price of a Walt Disney World vacation, many people have started to nitpick each experience and ask, based on monetary value, is it worth it? I think one of the many problems that arise is, one, you miss out on experiences that you might have enjoyed. But two, the person who ends up planning the trip feels this need, this necessity to hit a home run or a grand slam with every experience, everything you do. If you plan to hit a home run every single time, then your whole party expects a home run every single time. And when it doesn't pan out that way, which a lot of things won't, regardless of how much research you do and planning and all kinds of stuff, things happen. Restaurants have off nights. Lines are really long. It's extremely crowded. There's all kinds of things, intangibles that you can't plan for that could either enhance the situation or take a lot away from a good experience. When you equate your time and the experiences or whatever in a vacation to the amount of money you spent for that, is always going to be a bad idea. You're going to have a bad time.
Okay, you see what he did? He French fried when he should have pizzaed. You French fry when you pizza, you're going to have a bad time.
So I have a lot of objections into that way of thinking. And I think the internet only makes this more of a problem because you have access to way too much information. Most of it is just opinion based, and we tend to base everything we do on a few people's opinions. And so I try to keep myself from asking, is it worth it in terms of monetary value? I also feel like more focus should be put on the experiences and spending them with your family. One of the reasons why I love Walt Disney World the most is because it was one of the few places that we went on vacation as a family where I honestly felt like the Seavers or the Cleavers, depending on what era you grew up in. And getting to spend time as an actual family. I feel like growing up for me, that really wasn't a huge thing. And even when we went on other vacations, it didn't feel the same way as when we were at Disney World. And I think a lot of it had to do with the fact that we focused a lot on experiencing things as a family. Lots of inside jokes came out of these things. Those are the things that you remember more. And a lot of times you remember the things that didn't go as well as you had maybe hoped for, because they make for a good story. And when you have a when you've meticulously planned things and maybe they do go off without a hitch, you might not have as many fun memories as you may assume you will have. Take those things and the experiences and the memories you're going to make those top priority and say, is Hoop-Dee-Doo Review worth the experiences and the memories that we might have? Is, waiting 3 hours for Flight of Passage worth that kind of, do that. Never equate it to money, because then that's where the problems come in. When you're in a family that money is tight and you are allocating a certain amount of funds for this trip, you can fall into that habit of asking yourself, is it worth it? And trying to hit home runs all the time. So for that family, I would say pick a budget and try to save 10% more. And we have this cushion. I think it could help, soften a blow or two if things don't necessarily go exactly the way you want them to. Once you start equating to money, and we all have been there and seen those people who feel like that their money somehow is more is worth more than your money. And I always tend to say it costs the same to get into the park, whether you're staying at the Polynesian Bungalows or at the All Stars. Entrance fee to the park is the same. So you don't have any more rights than anybody else in the park. I don't know if we'll ever be able to get, curb that or curve that or cure that. And because of that, I think those people, they're already having a bad experience, and then they bring their bad experience onto you. And it's a big mess. And maybe if we start worrying about experience things with our families and less about how much it costs. And I get it. It's hard when you're spending that kind of money, thousands and thousands of dollars. It's hard not to think about money, but you just got to, or else you're never going to really enjoy the experiences. One of the things that I do, I suffer from immense anxiety, and traveling makes it ridiculously on high alert. I do a few things to sort of lessen the amount of anxiety that I already have. And one of them is going with the dining plan, regardless of how much money you could save if you didn't use the dining plan. If you don't have to think about the money, then you don't think about the money, and you can kind of enjoy yourself a little bit more. And when you're not slinging out the credit card or ruffling through dollar bills to pay for a snack or a meal, when you don't even have to look at the price of your meal, is kind of nice to know, right? And I think for me, that's why I tend to go with the dining plan, because it alleviates that anxiety of, do I have enough money? Am I spending too much? Am I spending, what am I doing? That kind of stuff. It alleviates that because I don't have to think about it. I think with my family, when I was growing up, money was not abundant. We didn't go to Disney World once or twice a year. We went, every 5-6 years. When we got there was never arguments about how much things cost or this or that. When the people in charge of your traveling party are aware of the fact that, yes, things cost a lot of money, but they're worth all the experiences we're ever going to have. And we don't need to nitpick about how much things cost or whatever. We're just here to have a really good time. You end up having a good time. So that's my take on it. You should definitely ask yourself the question, is it worth it? But not associate it to a monetary value. Associate it to experiences and memories. That's what it's all about. That's what vacations should be about, at least. It shouldn't really be about money. Yes, it's expensive. It's expensive for everybody who's going. And realize that if you just kind of swallow the pill and go, okay, here it is, let's focus on the experiences. Regardless of what we do, we still got to fork over this large sum of money. If we can focus on the experiences and not think about that, we're going to have a way better time. But tell me what you think. I want to see it in the comments below. And remember to like, comment, subscribe, share, ring that little bell so you get notifications. And until next time, catch you on the flip side.